To talk about a brief introduction of interpretation. And where is the controller? Yeah. Last summer vacation, I was admitted into the interpretation group of the Chinese English Translation and Interpretation program in NTU. Therefore, I started my adventure in interpretation. And in this field, I'm only a tiny little starter. But also, because I'm a starter, it's my honor to share with you tonight my interesting discoveries when the feelings are still fresh. First of all, let me clarify, when we say interpretation, we mean the oral translation of somebody else's speech or text. And when we say translation, it means that we're indicating that it is a written activity. And today, I'm going to talk about interpretation. First of all, let's talk about our first impression of interpreters. I'm going to use 6 pictures to conclude this part. My friends think I'm doing something professional. I'm always working with professional guys. My family think I'm doing something cool, like Nicole Kidman in the movie The Interpreter. And the society think I'm the Google Translate. And my neighbors still think I'm the Google Translate. I myself think I'm trying to connect the world together, but what I really do is, well, no need to explain. Is it true? Sort of, but you can listen to my introduction first and you will know a lot more. First of all, there's many ways to categorize interpretation, but the most common way is to divide it into consecutive interpretation and simultaneous interpretation. I know it's long, so please repeat after me. Consecutive interpretation and simultaneous interpretation. Thank you. How do you determine which is which? It's really simple. When you enter an event and you know there will be interpreters, you can find where the interpreters are. If the interpreter is on the stage, or at least somewhere near the presenter, it means the event is using consecutive interpretation. And if you see the interpreters in the booth, somewhere in the corner of the event, it means that it is using simultaneous interpretation. Consecutive interpretation requires quick note-taking skills. When the presenter is speaking, the interpreter has to take notes really quickly. And the interpreter speaks after the presenter finishes a passage and pauses. This is also what students learning interpretation often start with. But to master it and to take the notes really accurately and change it into your own words really needs time to practice. Simultaneous interpretation. The interpreters speak along with the presenter, and the delay of time is about a sentence length. The interpreters stay in the booth, then listen to the presenter, interpret the word into another language, and the voice is sent down to the audience headphones. And because this is a highly tense job, normally 2 interpreters will form a group. Every 30 minutes, they will take turns for the other to rest and they can help the other if any problem occurs. And here comes another question. Do interpreters need to master lots of languages? The answer is no. Actually, normally 1 interpreter only needs to master in 2 languages. But what I mean master is that they have to be able to switch between the 2 languages very naturally. For example, Chinese to English or English to Chinese. Here's a scenario. There's a presenter who speaks Spanish, but his audience can only understand Chinese or Japanese. And the organizer can only find 2 groups of interpreters who is in charge of Spanish Chinese and Chinese Japanese. What can they do? Here's the answer. The voice of the presenter is sent to the first booth, and they interpret it into Chinese. And the Chinese version is sent to the first part of the audience, and also to the second booth. So when the second booth take the Chinese version, they interpret it into the Japanese version. And the Japanese version was sent to the second group of the audience. So of course, the Japanese audience will get the messages a little bit slower, but no more than about 2 sentences length. And here's another question often asked. How do interpreters know all the professions? Because interpreters have to attend a lot of activities. They can be conferences like technology, law, business, medical, etc. But do they really know all the professions themselves?
No, we print for ourselves.
The answer is absolutely no. Unless you know the profession yourself, the interpreter has to read a great amount of information for a short period of time. The information can be provided by the organizer, or the interpreter can search the information themselves. Upon hearing my introduction, you may wonder, this field sounds like really intense, right? Why do you like it? Well, of course, when I'm taking the courses, I often feel like I was chasing after a bus. I run and run and run, and finally I'm on board. And I will have a feeling like, wow, why am I doing this to myself? Learning interpretation is something to do with a lot of experience accumulation. SOPs don't help much, because everyone needs to have their own style to do notes, to memorize things, and to deliver in their own way. So the fastest way to master in this part is to try again, again, and again. So that's why I like it. Every practice is precious. Every chance is unique. And every time I will find things to improve. It is challenging, but it is never boring. For the conclusion of my speech, in order to let you experience what it feels like to chase after a bus, please take out a piece of paper and a pen. And now I would like you to take notes of what my conclusions say. No matter you use symbols, abbreviation, letters, it doesn't matter. Just write down as much as I said. And then after my speech, you can see if you can recite all what I said. Ready? Alright, time limit, I have to be faster. By the bridges constructed by interpreters, the barriers of different languages can be broken to enhance the possibilities to link knowledge, wisdom, and ideas all around the world. Do you get it? Here's the answer. Toastmaster, good evening.